Building a Star Wars Cantina Bar in my garden, part 7. So the vinyl has now arrived. This is a hexagon shaped vinyl that kind of has gold in between the hexagons and the rest kind of looks like marble. You could get just kind of gold flicked marble online, but it was only in 1 meter strips, so I decided to go for this kind of hexagon shape instead. And then my friend Kai, or Kai Kestis if you know him online, who's also a Star Wars cosplayer like myself, helped me lay the vinyl. It wasn't ideal, I overestimated how easy it would be. It's definitely, I'm going to have to get a carpet fitter in to kind of tighten it up. And then we decided to kind of go to the doors as the shutter arrived. So we removed the old doors and then worked out the kind of system, kind of on a pulley system thing for the kind of shutter doorway. Aesthetically, I will still be building the round type of doorway around this in a way, but this is just kind of, I think it will look quite Star Warsy once it's closed. And whilst the bar and cantina aren't finished, we couldn't resist.
Sorry, we're not open yet, sir. We're still renovating.
I want a drink.
No, we're not open. I'm sorry.
I want a drink.
Are you for real? Are you for real?
Get the
Kai, we just put this down today. Idiot.
And the weather was nice enough the next day to put up the sun umbrella and relax out there, very hungover. Now the internal wall panels are up, the electrician was back to fit the lights and plugs. Here I'm working on the round sort of doorway, and for the base kind of, even though it won't be, susceptible to weather as much because it's covered and there'll be further covering anyway, it is MDF and chipboard I'm using as the kind of round base at the back here. So I did coat it in creosote just to kind of protect it, and then I'm using some spare wood planks that slot in together to build the kind of round doorway that will extend out. And these are the lights I went for. So this one was highly inspired by the types of lights you have at Galaxy's Edge in Ogre's Cantina, but more of a kind of higher class bougie version. And then in the main room above the bar sort of area, I have this light which just looked very Star Warsy to me in the kind of shape, kind of Death Star wall panel-esque, but with kind of gold trim to it, which is what I'm going for here. And then opposite the bar, I have these lights that I absolutely love. They're like an Art Deco style crystal gold light, inspired highly by what Mon Mothma has in her apartment in Andor, because that's the type of vibe I'm going for here, and I just thought they looked really cool. Then I decided to start working on the table that's going to go next to the seating booth in the middle sort of thing, and whilst it is going to be primarily for drinks, we're also going to play games like Sabacc and stuff on there, and I thought it would be really cool to have something like the Millennium Falcon inspired Dejarik board. So here I am sketching it out. I sanded down the piece of wood to get rid of any kind of wood texture, painted it white, and then went on with the kind of Dejarik board texture in black and white with a little bit of gold in there just for these small details. Originally I did use gold paint, but it was just kind of too hard to get those really thin lines, so in the end I just decided to use puff paint because it has the really small thin nozzle, and I thought it came out pretty well. I'm then covering the top in a clear coat epoxy resin, made for tabletop type of thing. Yes, I should be wearing a mask, but the window was open and went outside to work on other things after. Then if you give it a quick pass with a blowtorch, you also get rid of bubbles and you get this really nice kind of glass, smooth kind of look on top. However, I didn't realise, and I didn't think about it, but where I originally drew on the kind of lines with a Sharpie, I didn't think that resin would make that bleed or leak because it's not a solvent, but sadly it did. So instead of redoing it from scratch, I decided to lean into it and I decided to add another layer of resin on top, but with kind of black dye amongst it to get this kind of marble effect, which I think just looks even cooler, to be fair. Sometimes mistakes happen and you just have to lean into them and work with what you've got, and sometimes it just turns out even better. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next part, which I think might be the last part. There might be one more after it, I'm not too sure, but we're in the home run now, I'd say.